Welcome back to our program. Dr. Dayalan Devanesan is my guest here on WeConnect today. He spent many, many years of his life, his medical career, working with the Aboriginals in the heart of Australia, a very, very remote and region of the country. And we're talking to him about what it means to be in a place like that and working with people who don't necessarily, and at that time did not have any real access to medical attention and medical care. Doctor, tell me now, you've told me some of the things about your work there. I want to specifically ask you about health conditions and what kind of health programs were there at that time when you began to work in Central Australia?
Well, Aboriginal people were really sick and they suffered both the diseases of the poor and the rich.
Meaning?
In the sense that they had all the infectious diseases as well as the chronic diseases, as well as heart disease, kidney failure, diabetes, high blood pressure. So they had the worst of both worlds in terms of disease. And they had a health program that was delivered by doctors and non-Aboriginal, mainly white nurses, who were great. I mean, they were the stars of the bush nurses. But they did things their way, in the white man's way. And so one of the first programs to improve their health that I was involved with was called the Aboriginal Health Worker Training Program. And I became the first coordinator of that program because it was just simple common sense that the people should learn to help themselves more. And they could easily be trained, that they had not been given training. And they were not trained because people felt they were illiterate or semi-literate. But I said, look, even if someone is illiterate, they can still know if their child is hot, if their child is breathing fast, and if the pulse is racing, even if they cannot count. And so we started a program called the Health Worker Training Program with some basic skills to deal with the common problems that they had.
How did you impart those skills?
Now, we selected groups of people and brought them in for training, but I said initially they only need to know 3 things. And the first was how to give an injection of penicillin, because pneumonia was the commonest cause of infant mortality. And the second thing was to be able to make up a bottle of oral rehydration salts.
Okay.
Because the second commonest cause of death was diarrhea and dehydration. And the third thing was to be able to call a doctor on the radio so that they could get help themselves without waiting for the nurse or somebody else. And so those health workers started with those 3 things, and we found very quickly a dramatic change with infant health.
Right, but is this where you were able to teach by using their art forms that already existed?
Yes, because they had no language, written language.
Okay.
But by this time I had started learning a lot about their culture, and I started going out on sacred journeys.
Sacred journeys, what does that mean?
That means someone who owns a particular dreaming. That is,
what does that mean?
That means that the dreaming is a philosophy that all Aboriginal people have, which is their understanding of creation, the world, the relationships of people, mountains, rivers, animals, plants, and how it all works together is called the dream time. And each individual owns a particular dreaming or several dreamings, which is like their totems.
Okay.
And so the owner of a dreaming would take me out on a journey because the whole country is crisscrossed with stories of their ancestral beings.
Okay.
So like if a person was the owner of the emu dreaming, for example, he would own a dreaming track, and there would be a song that tells the story of the emu ancestor and all the adventures.
But sorry to interrupt you, but when you say an emu track, you mean a physical track in the area, or no? Or is it? No, it's not a physical track.
But there would be landmarks. There would be a mountain, a rock hole, a small mound, which would be part of the story of the emu dreaming. And we would sing the song and go to all those different parts. And we would be told, I would be told, this is what happened here. this emu got married
Right, right.
and had children at this point. And so I slowly learned the Dreamtime stories.
But did that help you when in imparting this knowledge that you're trying to bring to these people?
I think that before that, I should tell you that what also happened was I discovered that there was a large group of traditional healers
Right.
who had gone underground. And all Aboriginals believe that serious illness is caused by some spirit problem. Could be sorcery, or could be spirit loss, or spirit has moved. And the only person that could fix that was the traditional healer, or Nankari. And so I realized that they came to hospital only to cure their symptoms, because the cause could only be cured by the traditional healer. And they all had to go back to their traditional healer who would solve the problem with the cause of their sickness.
But traditional healer as in someone who's using traditional medicine? Or spirit healing, or what? I'm going to ask you to hold on, because I think this is a very important point in our discussion. Yes. We're going to come back to it in just a short while. We'll take a very quick break here and reconnect, and then we'll get right back with you. So please don't go anywhere.